I was shaking, actually shaking as my sister's voice cut through the airport like a knife. Oh my God, is that a basic economy ticket? Seriously? At your age? She said it loud enough for everyone to hear, on purpose, like she always did. I remember thinking, this is it. 27 years of being the family failure. 27 years of, why can't you be more like your sister? 27 years of swallowing my pride at every single family dinner. But this time was different. Because what Madison didn't know, what nobody in my family knew, was that 3 hours ago, I'd signed the papers. The airline she was about to board, I didn't just have a ticket. I owned the whole damn thing. Hey everyone, if you've ever had that one family member who made you feel like nothing, who turned every achievement into a competition you couldn't win, slam that subscribe button, because this is for everyone who's ever been underestimated.
Growing up as Natalie Kim meant growing up in a shadow. Madison's shadow, to be exact. She was 3 years older and about 1,000,000 years ahead in everything that mattered to our parents. Valedictorian, pre-med at Yale, engaged to a surgeon by 25, the kind of daughter Korean parents brag about at church. Me? I was the one they apologized for. Natalie's finding herself, Mom would say, which was code for Natalie's a disappointment, but we're trying not to cry about it. The thing is, I was finding myself, just not in any way they could understand. While Madison was memorizing anatomy textbooks, I was working nights at the airport. Started as a baggage handler. Yeah, you heard that right. The girl who couldn't get into a good college was throwing suitcases at 3 a.m. But here's what happens when you work at an airport. You see everything. You see where airlines waste money. You see where they cut corners. You see opportunities that people with fancy degrees miss because they've never actually worked a day in their life. One night, I'm loading bags on a red-eye to Seattle. This businessman's yelling at our gate agent about a delayed flight. He's going to miss some big meeting, losing thousands of dollars. And I'm thinking, there's a cargo plane leaving in an hour, same route, empty jump seats. That thought changed my life. I went home that morning and couldn't sleep. Started researching. Turned out there were hundreds of cargo planes with empty seats. Private jets flying one way with no return passengers. Wasted space everywhere. So I started small, really small, like selling seats on MySpace small. Connected business travelers with empty seats on private flights. Charged half what commercial airlines did. My first month, I made $800. My parents found out, and Dad actually laughed. Playing travel agent now? Maybe Madison can get you a real job at the hospital. My second month, I made $8,000. By month 6, I had to quit the airport job because I couldn't keep up with demand. But here's where it gets crazy. One of my regular clients, this venture capitalist named David Park, pulls me aside. You know what you've built here? A side hustle? A proof of concept. You've proven there's a massive inefficiency in air travel. I want to invest. Invest in what? You're disrupting an entire industry. You just don't know it yet. He wrote me a check for $2 million. Just like that, $2 million. Mom found out when she saw the deposit slip on my desk. She literally thought I was doing something illegal. Called Madison crying about how her youngest daughter was probably selling drugs because that made more sense to her than me being successful.
5 years. That's how long it took to go from that first investment to buying my first airline. Sounds impossible, right? But when you've spent your whole life being underestimated, you learn to move in silence. You learn to build while everyone's looking the other way. I started by buying distressed assets, small regional airlines going bankrupt, routes nobody wanted, planes that needed work but had good bones.
My team thought I was crazy. Natalie, nobody can compete with the big airlines. We're not competing, I told them. We're doing what they won't. See, every major airline was cutting routes to small cities, wasn't profitable enough. But those small cities, they were desperate for air service, would pay premium prices for convenience. So that's where we started, connecting places everyone else abandoned, treating customers like humans instead of cargo. Crazy concept, right? We grew fast, acquired 3 regional carriers in 18 months, expanded to major routes, started taking market share from the big boys. The industry press called us the startup that shouldn't exist. Forbes did a piece titled "The 29-Year-Old Taking on Aviation Giants." They used a photo where you couldn't really see my face. I made sure of that. Because back home, I was still just Natalie, the family screw-up, the one who dropped out of college to play with airplanes. Every family gathering was the same torture. Madison would talk about her surgical residency. Her husband would mention his promotion at Goldman Sachs. And then all eyes would turn to me. "Still doing your little travel thing?" Aunt Grace would ask. "Still at it," I'd smile. "Well, not everyone can be a doctor." She'd pat my hand. "Someone has to do the other jobs." Madison would smirk. Every single time. The breaking point came last Christmas. Madison announced she'd been promoted to chief resident. The whole family erupted in praise. Then she turned to me, in front of everyone. "Natalie, I've been thinking, Josh has connections at United. Maybe he could get you a job there. Something stable. You're almost 30. It's time to get serious about life." The room went quiet. Everyone staring, waiting for me to thank her for the generous offer. "I appreciate that," I said carefully, "but I'm good." "No, really. You can't live like a college student forever, flying around on cheap tickets, pretending you're some kind of entrepreneur. It's sad." Sad. That word hit different, because the previous week, I'd been in a boardroom with United's executives. They weren't offering me a job. They were trying to buy me out. For $1.8 billion. I said no.
Fast forward to last month. Mom announces her 60th birthday celebration in Vegas. Sends a group text about flights. Madison immediately takes control. Because, of course she does. "I've booked first class on Delta. Josh has status, so we got a great deal. Natalie, there's a Spirit flight that's pretty cheap if you book now. I know money's tight." Spirit? She suggested Spirit? I stared at my phone, sitting in my office overlooking the tarmac at LAX. My tarmac. My planes with my logo on the tail. "Thanks, but I'll figure something out," I typed. "Don't be proud. I can loan you money for a better ticket." Loan me money? The day arrives. I get to the airport early, wearing my usual jeans and beat-up sneakers. Madison shows up in full designer everything, Josh trailing behind checking his phone. She spots me at the gate, and her face lights up. Not with joy, with that specific satisfaction she gets from feeling superior. "Natalie, oh honey, you look exhausted. These budget airlines really take it out of you, don't they?" "I'm fine." She glances at my boarding pass. Her eyes go wide. "You're flying Meridian Air? Oh, sweetie, no. They're one of those sketchy startups. I read they don't even serve real food, just snacks." Just snacks? I bit my tongue so hard I tasted blood. "Madison? No, this is unacceptable. Josh," she snaps her fingers at her husband. "Use her points. Upgrade her. I can't have my sister flying some knockoff airline."
It's really fine. It's not fine. Mom will be mortified if she finds out I let you fly whatever this is. Meridian. Sounds like a motel chain. She marches to the gate agent. I watch her gesture dramatically, probably telling them about her poor sister who doesn't know any better. The gate agent, Marcus, who's worked for me for 2 years, keeps a perfect poker face. Types something, shows Madison his screen. Her face goes from confident to confused to something else. She walks back slowly. You're pre-boarded? Yeah, but that doesn't make sense. They don't even have first class on these cheap airlines. Boarding starts. Madison makes sure everyone sees her first class priority status, practically waves it like a flag. I wait. Let everyone board. Marcus approaches me personally. Miss Kim, Captain Rodriguez wanted to let you know she's moved your meeting after takeoff, and the Vancouver contracts are in your suite. Suite? I stand up. See you in Vegas, Maddie. I board the plane. Madison's already in her first-class seat, champagne in hand, ready to watch me walk past to economy. Except I don't. I stop at her row. Nice seats. We just upgraded these last month. We? The chief flight attendant appears. Miss Kim, welcome aboard. Your suite is ready. The board meeting dial-in is set for 40 minutes after takeoff. Madison's champagne glass stops halfway to her mouth. I'm sorry, what? Oh, I should introduce myself properly. I turn to face her fully. Natalie Kim, founder and CEO of Meridian Air. You know, the sketchy startup you were worried about? The glass slips. Champagne everywhere, all over her designer bag. You're joking. Maya, can you help my sister with that spill? And maybe explain our food service? She was concerned we only serve snacks. Maya smiles. Of course, Mrs. Davidson. We actually have 3 Michelin star chefs on staff. Today's menu includes... Stop. Madison's voice cracks. Just stop. Josh finally looks up from his phone. Wait, the Natalie Kim? The one who just announced the European expansion? The one Bloomberg called the most disruptive CEO in aviation? That would be me. He turns to Madison. That's your sister? The one you said was unemployed? I never said unemployed. You literally told my partners she was a failed travel blogger. I thought... You thought what? I sat on the armrest. Real casual, like we were just chatting. That because I didn't follow your path, I couldn't succeed? That because Mom and Dad didn't understand what I was building, it wasn't real? She starts crying, right there in first class. Real tears. Ugly tears. I don't understand. How did you... When did you... When did I build a billion-dollar airline while you were telling everyone I was wasting my life? Is that what you're asking? Why didn't you tell me? Tell you? When? During Christmas when you announced to everyone that I needed a pity job? During Mom's birthday when you said I dressed like a homeless person? During Dad's retirement when you literally introduced me as the sister who couldn't hack college? Each word hits her like a slap. I was trying to help. No, you were trying to feel better about yourself. And you know what? It worked. You felt great, and I built an empire. So we both won, right? Maya reappears. Miss Kim, should I move your sister to your suite? There's plenty of room. I look at Madison, mascara running, champagne-soaked designer bag, the surgeon who had everything figured out, finally realizing she had nothing figured out at all. You know what? Yeah, move them both. Madison blinks. What? You wanted an upgrade, right? Let me show you what an actual upgrade looks like. The suite on our 787s is something else. Full office, bedroom, shower, conference room, the works. Madison walks in and just stops. This is bigger than my apartment. Probably cost more too. That desk, imported Italian marble. The bed, custom memory foam that adjusts to your body temperature. The shower has 7 heads and a steam function. She touches everything like it might disappear. And this is yours? Technically, it's for any passenger who books it. But yeah, I designed it. Every detail. Took me 6 months to get the lighting right. She collapses into a chair. I'm a terrible sister. Yeah, you were. Were? Well, you can't be terrible to someone who doesn't care anymore. And I stopped caring what you thought about 3 years ago, right around the time I made my first 100 million. Josh chokes on air. 100 million? Give or take, I don't really count anymore. After a certain point, money just becomes numbers. Madison looks at me, really looks at me, maybe for the first time in our lives. You know what the worst part is? I'm supposed to be the smart one, the successful one, and I couldn't even see what was right in front of me, my own sister. You saw what you wanted to see, the family failure, made you feel better about your own choices. Did it though? Because I'm sitting in your private suite on your plane, realizing I'm not even the most successful person in my own family. Hell, I'm not even close. The flight to Vegas was quiet. Madison spent most of it staring out the window. But before we landed, she asked me something. How do you do it? How do you sit there at family dinners when everyone treats you like nothing? Practice, and the knowledge that their opinion literally doesn't matter. You know what matters? The 10,000 employees who depend on me, the 1 million passengers who trust us to get them home, the communities we serve that other airlines abandoned. You meant nothing to you? Your opinion meant nothing. You? You're my sister. I love you. I just don't like you very much. She nodded. Fair. Mom's birthday party was interesting. Madison told everyone. Couldn't help herself. Suddenly, relatives who hadn't spoken to me in years wanted to chat. But here's the thing. I didn't want their approval anymore. I'd built something incredible without it. Their validation now? Too little, too late. Madison found me on the balcony that night. I told my daughter about you today. My real job. Not the surgeon thing. The real job. Where I try to save lives, but sometimes fail. Where I work 100-hour weeks and barely see my family. Where I'm good, but not great, and probably never will be. Madison. No, let me finish. I told her about my sister who everyone underestimated, who built something from nothing, who changed an entire industry because she wasn't afraid to fail. And you know what she said? What? She said, I want to be like Aunt Natalie. We don't talk much, Madison and me, but last week she called. I'm flying to Boston for a conference. Which airline should I book? Book whatever works for you. But, Madison, you don't have to fly my airline to support me. You support me by seeing me, the real me, not the version you created in your head. I see you now. Good. That's all I wanted. She paused. But seriously, do you have any first-class seats available? Because that suite was insane. I laughed. First real laugh we'd shared in years. I'll see what I can do. Success isn't about proving people wrong. It's about proving yourself right. But sometimes the people who doubted you the most need to see exactly what they missed. Not because you need their validation, but because they need the wake-up call. Madison keeps a photo on her desk now. It's us in that suite, her mascara still smudged, my ratty sneakers up on the Italian marble desk. She says it reminds her that success comes in different packages, and that sometimes the package you overlook is carrying a billion-dollar empire. Funny how that works.
Drop a comment if you ever had someone underestimate you, then had to pick their jaw up off the floor later. I read every single one. And look, if you made it this far, you're my kind of person. Hit subscribe and that notification bell, because I've got stories that'll make this one look tame.
We're talking family drama, sweet revenge, and plot twists that'll give you whiplash. Until I come your way again, remember, the best revenge isn't making them feel small. It's becoming so big, they can't ignore you anymore. See you in the next one.